You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities, and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius-Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Whodini-Blak Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Hello. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another incredible episode of Vigilantes Radio Live right here on iHeartRadio. And I am your host, Deanie. We have a very special guest for you guys, so you definitely want to stick around for that. And as a matter of fact, text your buddies, family members, or even share it on social media right now and let them know that we are about to dive deep into another interview. Before I bring my guest on, the surest way to move beyond your doubts is with experience. You can go from merely believing to knowing for certain by putting those beliefs into action. So, simple question, do you believe you can earn more money or learn to speak another language or even build a great relationship? Believing that you can is great, but as long as it's just belief, it can be destroyed by doubt. By putting real action and experience into any belief, it moves past being a belief and becomes something that you know for certain. Even if you don't have it all figured out, at least you started and you have somewhat experience of what's hot and what's cold. When you know for certain, doubt has no power. When you've actually experienced yourself doing it, nothing is ever going to make you doubt that you can. The way that you move towards anything you desire is to begin experiencing the reality of it. There is something you can do today, right now, some action you can take in the direction of your most treasured desire. As soon as you take that step, you begin to process, or the process of knowing for certain. Whatever you believe, guys, put yourself into it, and as you do, you'll be pushing your doubts out of it. Doesn't that sound great? Of course. All right. Take that from me, Coach Deanie. That is my word, and word is bond.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
All right. Again, welcome to the show. You're listening to VRL. That's Vigilantes Radio Live right here on iHeartRadio. And I am your host, Deanie. Our interviews are designed to go beyond music, news, books, art, acting, films, technology, education, entrepreneurship, entertainment, and sometimes even that thing that we call the ego. Our interviews are designed to go behind the scenes and into the minds of these awesome human beings. The ones who are out there giving it their all for me, for you, and for the world. Well, speaking of world, I want to welcome you guys to the exciting world of Anton du Preez, a multi-talented composer, singer, and songwriter whose latest album, Songs of Feeling, is a heartfelt exploration of life's complexities. Anton's music transcends boundaries, weaving together alternative, pop, classical, and jazz into a bundle of emotions. From his early days discovering music to his remarkable journey as a U.S. Navy veteran and physical therapist, Anton's passion for music shines through every note. So guys, be prepared to move by the story of a musician who's turned personal struggles into universal messages of hope and resilience. Let's call this episode Anton du Preez, Songs of Feeling. All right, and with that, let's welcome Anton to the show. Hello, hello, welcome.
Hi, Coach Denny. Thanks for that. Your inspirational opening to your show, and then the nice little snippet from me. So thank you. Happy to be here.
Absolutely, the pleasure is all of ours. Thank you so much. Let's talk about your album. It is called Songs of Feeling, and sounds deeply personal and reflective. Before we go back to the beginning of how you discovered music, we kind of just want you to share with us what inspired you to create this album and how it represents your journey both as an artist and as an individual.
So this is I've released a couple albums prior to this, and I write for different film and TV things from time to time. But this one was more personal and close to me, and things that I had written over the years that I kind of kept to myself and didn't want to tarnish isn't the right word, but sometimes when you're writing for different pitches, you're trying to do the carbon copy that'll fit for everything rather than something that speaks to one particular experience. And so for this album, it was 6 or 7 years in the making of just things that I had been writing more for myself to kind of process different life experiences of mine, or life experiences of friends or family or other folks close to me. Some of the songs kind of reflect the struggles of some of my patients as a physical therapist, and just things that felt more poignant across a lifespan rather than a particular pitch. And so that's kind of how this album came together, was just songs that I had been writing as my own therapeutic process, and was thankfully able to gather enough wonderful folks together to make it come to fruition.
Absolutely, absolutely. So your music and your career path are as unique as they are inspiring. This month I've been asking all of my guests about movies and characters from movies that, they probably or may see themselves. Like my life, I would say my life is like Fast and the Furious sometimes, helicopters, explosions, fast cars. Not really, but only in my head,
Yeah.
I feel more like the Truman Show.
The rat race of life kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, I feel like the Truman Show sometimes. Is there a movie or character out there that may represent your life, or at least a glimpse of it?
Wow. Where to start with that? There's so, because it depends on your mood, right? And depends on like what story of yourself do you want to tell?
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
Since we're talking about music, the one that comes to mind for me is The Legend of 1900. Oh gosh, now I'm forgetting the director's name, but it was a film with Tim Roth, and he was kind of a piano prodigy on the transport ships that went back and forth between New York and London between around the year 1900. And he was born on the ship, kind of an orphan, and never got off the ship, and just kind of was a prodigy, and his life was music. I'm not an orphan. The Navy bit kind of fits a little bit, or being on ships, but just the fact that music was kind of his language to learn how to relate to folks. Yeah. And I kind of remember that from a youngish age, just being able to put my thoughts into music, my thoughts and feelings into music so much more inclusive than I could with like the limited vocabulary that I had, words wise.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and they called him 1900 in the film. He had a longer name, but we'll go with that.
All right. So yeah, let's rewind time a little bit and go back to the genesis of Anton du Preez. How did you discover music?
My dad. My dad, Anton du Preez, was a trumpet performer, and he studied music education. And well, first I think he studied at the conservatory in Cape Town, South Africa, and then moved to the States for his master's degree. Ended up not being able to find work right away, and kind of pursued some other stuff, but always kept music alive. And so he made sure that all three of us kids growing up knew and appreciated and played music.
Yeah, wow. When did you discover your passion for creating music?
Maybe 7 or 8 years old. We never went to formal piano lessons out in town because our dad just did that for us. But I remember learning, the typical repertoire that you're supposed to, but I had more fun just kind of playing around and creating my own little melodies and chord progressions and different textures and whatnot. We were, I think I was 10-ish when we got our first electric piano with the floppy disk that you could stick in and record things, and just had a blast creating things on that. And you mentioned at the beginning this album kind of pulling together a couple different genres, and that's how it was growing up too. We listened to everything, and as I was writing, it was just kind of experimenting with different genres, different feels, different instrumentation, and just finding, kind of going back to obviously my vocabulary is better now as an adult, but I still feel like it falls short sometimes. And the things that I can't put into words, I can always put into music. And so it just kind of, again, became my way to relate to the world a little better.
Absolutely. So you grew up learning how to play the trumpet and piano. I played the trumpet growing up for 7 years until I got to college. I was pretty good too. I was in high school. I was first trumpet, second chair.
There you go.
And then college came, and I thought jazz was my road until I had to play chromatic scales double time. I was like, nope, changing major. Yeah. But for you, learning the trumpet and piano, how did it influence your approach to composition?
Well, the trumpet aspect helped a lot with, being able to construct a melody, something, and my singing training too, to construct something that's, a good melody is always something that you can sing along, something that sticks in your head and you can hum for weeks to years later. And being able to find that musical vocabulary on trumpet as a singular melodic instrument rather than piano or guitar or something was helpful in finding what works and what can be playable and what still says what you would like to say. And then for piano, it's kind of filling the rest of it out. I'm a very visual learner, and it's a whole lot easier for me to just look at the keyboard and be able to map out what I'm going to play as I'm playing it. Whereas the guitar, I love guitar stuff, but I'm fascinated how really good guitarist minds work, because they just have the map of the fretboard that I've never been able to create in my head. So being able to visually look at the piano and have a decent capability for playing, as well as the trumpet and singing, to kind of just help round that out for chord structure, for instrumentation, for chord progression, and for melody.
Yeah. So how do you balance writing about your personal experience while making music that's relatable to a wider audience? We know that you can make music for without keeping yourself boxed in. We know that you can make and create music for a community, but you're so much more than that. Plus all the genres that you blend and bend and mix in a perfect harmony. How do you keep the balance?
I think it was kind of through trial and error. A lot of the early stuff that I wrote was, well, a lot of the stuff like we're looking like 30 years ago now was just crap because of lack of experience and lack of life experience. But it was, you know, a stepping stones. And as I started writing for specific things or writing for, you know, to try to make a career of it, some of it was just trial and error and, you know, writing about an experience or a day or a feeling that I had. And sometimes it would click with someone else and sometimes it wouldn't. Other times I would try to write for something that was universal, but it just wouldn't have, it wouldn't have the same meaning because it was, you know, trying to group too much without being specific to give you a lasting feeling. And I still don't have a grasp on it. I don't know. It's with each time I just kind of hope that what I've done is something that people can find something that they relate to. But I suppose that balance is just, you know, first drawing upon either my own experience or someone close to me, and then trying to zoom out from that a little bit and, you know, make it not so specific that only that one person knows what it's about, but still have the skeleton of that that experience or that incident or that feeling or that life journey, so that there's something in there that hopefully enough people can relate to. So I don't know. Well, if I ever find a more concise and clear answer for that, I'll let you know.
All right, but I think you're doing a pretty great job at that.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir. So we're going to play We Shall Heal. But before we do, what message do you hope this song conveys?
Hope. It's a song of pain. It's, without giving too much away, it's a song written about folks considering self-harm, but that, you know, we're not alone. It feels like it sometimes, but there's others that either have gone through similar experiences or are currently going through them, and, you know, there's hope. We have a large community, whatever your community is, and it's just, you know, needing a little pick-me-up from them from time to time.
Absolutely. All right, guys, here it is. We Shall Heal. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Someday love will come around, and all lost people will finally be found. And I know I won't fall asleep without knowing if you're here. And we shall heal when shadows kneel and hearts reveal that you're not alone. Whatever pain that you may hold will still be trying to control you, but I'm here for you, even though I'm broken too. Together we can rise and share the burden of our lives. Just let the tears fall from your eyes. It's hard to change the way we feel, but we shall heal. Don't give up, you'll make it through. It gets better, this I promise you. And I know I won't fall asleep tonight without making sure that you're still here. And we shall heal when shadows near, letting hearts reveal that you're not alone. No, we're not alone. The pain you hold will still be trying to control you, but I'm still here for you, even though I'm broken too. Together we will rise. Let's shed the burden from our lives. Just let those tears fall from our eyes. It's hard to change the way we feel, but we shall heal.
All right, welcome back, guys, again. Wow, you're listening to VRL, Vigilantes Radio Live, right here on iHeartRadio, and I am your host, Dini. Again. Wow, such an incredible song, incredible record. Let's go ahead and bring Anton back. I forgot to mention that we have a tradition. It's called the Hot Seat, to where we invite our special guest to perform, whether that's singing, rapping, poetry, spoken word, telling a joke, telling a story, playing an instrument, or just giving some advice, or just doing nothing at all. The choice is yours. Would you like to participate?
Absolutely.
All right, ready when you are.
Well, since I've got other performance stuff, and that's what the album's about, I like the hint for giving advice, and I don't know if this will help lots of folks, but sorry, Alexa just tried to answer. But I remember as a kid always being torn between music and medicine. And there's, I mean, rightly so, for formal training, it's tough to do multiple things at once. But there's always that inevitable moment with folks where it's like, okay, well, you need to choose the one path that you're going to take. And I was never okay with that. And so it was kind of bouncing back and forth between the two. So I initially went to college as a vocal performance major. Midway through, I added exercise science as kind of a backup to progress into physical therapy, which ultimately I was able to do. When I joined the Navy, I initially joined as well, long story short, I initially joined as Special Forces, which was a terrible idea for me. Switched over to Corpsman, back to medicine, eventually ended up in the band, so I was able to kind of do both. When I got out of the Navy, I went to physical therapy school, and, you know, that was kind of the stable job, but I just missed music so much and was still trying to do some gigging on the side and writing when I could, and I sang in a couple choirs, and eventually went back to school for the film composition. And somehow, again, and I know this isn't a path for everyone, but kind of going back to your initial opening of just believing in yourself, finding what speaks to you, finding the things that you just cannot absolutely live without, and then just working to make those happen. And so this is kind of a shout out to all the musicians or artists or creatives that feel like they have to make a choice between doing something that's stable or doing a creative bit. And whatever path works for you, there's always a way to find a way to do both. I'm very fortunate that at least in the last several years have kind of reached a decent balance between those. And it took a long time, but it was worth it. And it's something that I just hope other folks can trust themselves to not let go of whatever that passion is. And if there's multiple passions, find a way to keep them, because that's what makes you you.
Absolutely. That's great advice. Where can our listeners connect with you online? On
Instagram, it's just my name, music, Anton du Preez Music. On Facebook, the artist page is the same thing. My regular page is just me, Anton du Preez. There's stuff on YouTube. I try to answer to things there too. LinkedIn, and then my website is, again, just antondupreezmusic.com. And we just love to connect with folks. I hope people find something they like, and it's always nice just chatting and meeting new people, because we're all here on this earth together, and it's a pleasure when we get to cross paths for a little bit.
Absolutely. And guys, just in case you didn't get those links, no worries, I will have them in the description of this episode and in the show notes. So all you guys have to do is just click the links. Well, Anton, your journey through the realms of music, from your early days to your profound work on Songs of Feeling, is a testament to your talent, resilience, and dedication to your craft. And your ability to weave personal narratives into universal themes of hope and understanding is truly inspiring. So thank you for sharing your story, your music, and your insights with us. We look forward to your upcoming projects and are excited to see how your music continues to evolve and touch the hearts of listeners around the world. So keep creating, keep inspiring, and keep sharing your unique voice with the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach Dean. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio Live. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab it from either Spreaker.com/only1media group, Spotify, Castbox, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, the app Podcast Addict, or over at our website, which again is only1mediagroup.com, and that goes for every single show that we've ever aired. If you like to request some music or send something for me to play, email it to vradio@only1mediagroup.com. That is V as in Victor. And here's my disclaimer: we are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, scratch all of that, because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Just kidding. On behalf of myself, Denny, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word, because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, at all social media sites, as well as Spreaker, YouTube. We always follow back. Okay, well, just remember to put yourself into everything that you do and never stop investing in yourself. Peace, love, grilled cheese, and talk with you later.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Whodini-Blak Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.